أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله.
We continue with the journey to the hereafter, and we start with sleep in the paradise. Firstly, do people sleep in the paradise? Yes or no? Put your hand up. Sleep in the paradise? Yes. Sleep in the paradise? No. Hand up. No 50-50 answers. All the way up. The majority, the Jumhur say no. Tayyib. Why? Jibreel. Why don't people sleep in the paradise? Where did you get that opinion from?
You don't have to.
You don't have to. Then what if you want to?
You can.
Should you?
I'm not sure.
50-50. Hamza. And you can't wait for Jannah, Ya Rab. And Jannah, Ya Rab. For the sleep. Is there sleep in Jannah? Yes or no?
No, because the body does need rest.
No, because your body doesn't need rest. Anyone say yes? Who are the ones that said yes? You say yes? Fadal, action.
Reason being, if you want to sleep, you can.
If you want to sleep, you can. This is where the difference of opinion between the ulama comes in. Now, the difference of opinion between the ulama, because there isn't a clear, authentic text. There are texts from the Quran, أحسن ما قيل. Some of the ulama said that this after the day of judgment, al-maqil is makan al-qaylula. That after the day of judgment, because the believers were tired, and for the believers, remember, this will be the day of judgment will be a short period. It's only long for the disbelievers and the evildoers. But because they were tired, when they go to Jannah, they rest. Other ulama said, no, they're not tired when they enter Jannah because there's no tiredness in Jannah. Ahsanu maqila means the place where they are staying. This is metaphoric for the place that they will stay, like their castles, their gatherings, etc. You have another hadith from the Prophet ﷺ, but the problem is, the ulama said that it's weak. Now, the ulama that said it's authentic, they said there's no sleep in Jannah, but the other ulama that said that the hadith is weak, this is where the difference of opinion comes from. The hadith itself is the saying of the Prophet ﷺ, النوم أخو الموت ولا ينام أهل الجنة. That sleep is the brother of death, and the people of paradise do not sleep. The ulama that said the hadith is authentic, they mentioned things like some of you mentioned. That number one, you don't need to sleep in Jannah. And why do we sleep in this dunya? Because you're tired, you need rest, you're sick, you had a long day at work, etc. So when you get back home, you needed to sleep and rest and give your body that replenishing that it needs. As for Jannah, then your body doesn't get tired. So why would you need to sleep? They also added another reason. They also added another very important reason.
You don't miss any enjoy.
So that you don't miss any enjoyment in the Jannah. And when you go to Jannah, if you fall asleep, what happens? You're missing out on all of the delights of Jannah. You're missing out on all of the delights of Jannah. As for the ones who said that no, the hadith is weak, so we don't have anything, any clear cut. They said, what about if a person, like Hamza, what if a person, his sleep is his enjoyment? This is where they said what Brother Action said. His name was Action. Now we just call him, it was Jackson. You've changed it officially to Abdullah. Khalas, he changed his name officially to Abdullah. But before it was Jackson, and we say Action Jackson. Don't worry. Long story. Now, like he said, that if a person wants to, then he can. Just like the one who wanted to plan in Jannah. The Sahabi wanted to plan in Jannah. That's what he wanted to do. Someone might say, why would you want to plant your back and plants? And no way. Especially some of the oldies, Jazakumullah khairan, that we have at the masjid. If they had the opportunity, everything would be concrete. No plants whatsoever. Now, no plants whatsoever. Someone may say, why would you want to plant in Jannah? But this was what he wanted to do. This is what his enjoyment and his relaxation was. So if a person wants to sleep, then they're able to sleep. However, it's different, whatever it is, whatever the opinion is, we say, Allahu Alam, what the correct is, because it's got to do with the knowledge of the unseen. Either way, when you go to Jannah, you'll be happy. Whether you're able to sleep or not able to sleep, you'll be happy, inshallah. The servants in Jannah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, يطوف عليهم ولدان مخلدون بأكواب وأباريق وكأس من معين. Young servants that are young boys, they will be around them in their service, and they stay young for eternity. بأكواب with glasses and cups and jugs of wine that they continually serve. The young boys in Jannah, these are the servants in Jannah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also described them as lu'lu'an manthura. Yani they're like scattered pearls. Yani they're good looking young boys in the paradise that are in the service of the people. This is from the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala upon the people in paradise, that they are served. That they are served in the paradise. Some people from the Orientalists. What's an Orientalist? No, you're not allowed to answer. We have a rule. Yani Sheikh Abdul Aziz always answers the question. We say, Sheikh, you're not allowed to answer the questions. What's an Orientalist? And a mustashriq. What's a mustashriq? Wow. These are very important people for you to know about. Why? Once you know who they are, you'll know why you need to know about them. Ahmed. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. من هم المستشرقون؟ الله أعلم. جزاك الله خير. The mustashriqun, the Orientalists, these are people that, especially from the Western and European countries, that would study the sciences of the East, in particular Islam, and they studied that in order to refute it. So a lot of the doubts that people come up with, they say that there's this mistake in the Quran, or there's that mistake in the Quran, or how can that be like that? They pick out things that are not commonly known, and they try and say, oh, this is a mistake, or they try and understand it in a way which is incorrect. And these people have done a lot of damage, and they caused a lot of people to start to doubt their religion. A lot of the doubts that you get in, from this website, that website, or the other religions use, the origination is from the mustashriqeen. Okay, they're from these Orientalists. And even some of, unfortunately, the Muslim scholars were affected by it. A lot of the arguments that people came to want to change the Sharia and things like this, a lot of it came from these Orientalists. Alhamdulillah, there have been many times refuted over and over again, but nevertheless, their arguments stay alive. One of the things that some of these people that study Islam to try and attack it is the sexualization of these young boys. There is nothing sexual about these young boys. They try and make it like Epstein Island, and these people, you got a Jannah and your God is telling you about these young boys that are attractive, and this is somehow to them sexual. No, this has nothing to do with anything sexual. The men have their spouses and the women have their spouses, and the men also have hur al-ain, and they're not young kids, ayadhan billah. On top of that, this is the people that sick in their mind. They'll be like, why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala choose young boys? Allah Azza wa Jal is wise and Allah Azza wa Jal is knowledgeable. From some of the reasons, let's start. Some of the reasons why would Allah Azza wa Jal, in terms of servants, why would He choose young boys that are attractive? تفضلوا.
الله لا يسأل عما يفعل وهم يسألون.
This is the golden answer, that Allah does whatever He wants, and Allah Azza wa Jal is not questioned. Rather, the people are questioned. But even some of the hikam that you can take, some of the wisdoms that a person can take from, why would they be young boys that are attractive as opposed to any of the other things that may be available as servants? Now,
Jannah is like the perfect world. Wouldn't be suitable to have like an attractive
we'll start with the attractive part. If you have a servant that is not good looking and he's like someone serving you, let's say you went to a hotel. Hotels, at resorts, secretaries, workers, what do they choose? They choose people that look like they got hit by 17 cars? No. Why? Because you're not going to be comfortable there. They choose people that are attractive. It makes your stay there better. If you're in Jannah and you're looking 24/7 at something that's unattractive, how are you going to feel comfortable in Jannah? This is from the wisdoms. What else?
The young doesn't get tired.
You're not allowed to answer anymore, but subhanAllah, you said a good answer. Okay? What did he say, Yusuf?
Him?
Yes.
The young don't get tired.
Young don't get tired. Okay? Now, if I ask, for example, Adam's a young fit man, tabarakallah. But if I ask Adam, get me this, and get me this, and get me this, and get me this, and get me this, eventually what's going to happen? He's going to get tired. But get one of these young kids, Allahumma barik, the 8-9-year-olds, for example, 8-9-year-olds, get me this, no problem, like energize the body, Allahumma barik. Back and forth, no issue whatsoever. This is from the wisdoms. What else? What are some other wisdoms? Why the servants in Jannah are young and they're males and they're attractive? Now,
If they were a little bit old, you'll be shy to ask them for something, or
If they're older out of respect, you don't want to ask like now Hajj Abu Ayman Jazallahu Khairan. يعني تعيب ميرا ask Hajj Allah khalik إذا فيك جيب لي ماي Hajj Allah khalik please يعني go get me water or go do this for me or go do that for me. It's عيب, it's not right. Now we're meant to honor those that are older. We're meant to serve them, not they serve us. Jayid, what else? What else? These are all from the wisdoms. These are all from the wisdoms, not 100%. These are all from the wisdoms. What else? But again, so we can remove the sexualization of how people understand this. And again, it's not that there's anything sexual at all implied anywhere. But this is just how people try and corrupt. They try and find something and twist it in a way for people to understand it incorrectly. What else? Yallah, quick.
We've answered everything except for the male issue. Why are they males?
Answer?
Why don't they?
Do you think that the person in general will feel like that? You told your young son to get you this or get you that, and it's similar to that,
So what's the answer? I didn't understand that particular point.
The answer is like,
You answered in one of it is the answer, but I don't know if you meant the other part. You feel like they're like your sons, or you feel like you can tell them without any haraj. Like you can tell them without. Now, if you, for example, have now, let's say there's a young boy in the masjid, you don't even know who it is. You say, Amr, please get me that bag from the back. Give me my bag. You don't feel any shyness at all. And he respects you as someone that's older. He respects you, so he will go and you'll get it, no problem. If it's, for example, a young girl, do you feel comfortable telling a young girl to go and do it? You don't feel comfortable telling a young girl, like you're meant to look after the girl, etc. The young boy, you don't feel that shyness from him. Please go. And also, he's humble enough to easily accept. If I kept telling Adam, go, and told him getting tired, eventually like, Ammi, khalas. But you told a young boy, he doesn't have that in him. Now, sometimes, yes, there's a little bit of backtrack, but the young they listen because there's that respect and there's that awe for the person. Now, but there's a lot of reasons why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose them, and we should never question Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And some of the things that people mention, yes, some of the wisdoms can easily be understood if you pay a little bit of attention to it. Some of the things can easily be understood, but as a Muslim, your initial response to anything is, if it's authentic, it came in the Quran, or came in the authentic Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, then it is correct. Whether it makes sense to me, it doesn't make sense to me, that's not my duty. My duty is, if it came from Allah, or it's authentic from the Prophet ﷺ, then I accept. Like the story of Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu with Isra al-Ma'raj, when the kuffar of Quraysh came and said, your companion claims to have gone to Bayt al-Maqdis and then to the heavens and come back down in one night. His mindset was because of his iman. If he said it, then it's correct. If the Prophet ﷺ said it, then it's correct. I believe 100%. Even though at that time it was impossible for them to comprehend such an act. Impossible. It takes 2 months to do that journey. They went done it in a night. Not only there, and back as well. And to the heavens and back down. But if he said it, then I believe it. So this is our initial response to any of these matters. Number 2 is that when people mention these types of misconceptions, understand that they are not trying to find the truth. When people mention these types of misconceptions, they are not trying to find the truth. They are coming to attack. So it's very easy when you understand points in the greater scheme of things, you won't have any issue. You don't have any issue. But when you want to bring a problem, you'll focus on this one little issue. Like when the news or the media want to cause issues for someone, they always take their words out of context. For example, someone says, we need to kill all Jews, for example. Let's say he was talking about a whole talk, and he was saying what the Nazis said. He was talking about what the Nazis done in a time of history. In context, there's no issue. But if you crop that out, this Sheikh, look how he's screaming, we should kill all Jews. There's a problem. There's a big problem there. And that's what these people do. They pick and choose things to bring out without any context to try and cause some issues, and they try and bring, or talk about it in ways which are corrupted and twisted. So when those misconceptions come to you, you got 3 things. Number 1, don't go looking for misconceptions. Don't go looking for doubts, because you don't know how it will affect your heart. Your job is to ask, is Islam the correct religion? How do you know that? Ask yourself the very basic, simple questions. What's the purpose of life? Is there a creator or not? Okay, you come to the conclusion there's a creator. What does that creator want from us? Did he create us for no reason, or he created us for a purpose? If there's a creator, there must be creation for a purpose. Tayyib, what does the creator want from me, and how do I fulfill that? Look for the religions. Look for every religion you want. The only one you're going to logically come to the conclusion that it is correct, with its signs and its proofs, is Islam. It's the only possible option. This is what your research is. As for to go through every little point that someone spoke against Islam, when you're not at that high level of knowledge, then you don't know what fitna you may be exposed to that causes your foot to slip, and a'yadhu billah, you move away from the right path because of it. So don't go looking for it. Number two, if you did come across it, don't let it affect you, and go and ask the people of knowledge. Go and ask the people of knowledge, do proper research, don't just let it sit in your heart. Go and understand it properly. Okay, there must be a response to it. What is that response to that particular misconception? And sometimes it's very, very, very simple by actually asking, why would these people try and sexualize it? It's not sexualized. That's my issue response, it's not sexualized. But what are some possible explanations as to, or some possible wisdoms as to why there would be young boys as opposed to girls, etc. Why did Allah mention them as attractive, etc.? Why would Allah mention them like that? You do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, alhamdulillah, done, finished. Easy. Jayyid? Even though it's more than what people mention. There's actually more other reasons, other wisdoms. Like if they were older, you wouldn't want them being around your wife. Jayyid, the man is an attractive guy. Naturally, your jealousy as a man, you wouldn't want this person around your wife. These people are always, the servants, they're always around. You wouldn't want an older guy around your wife. Again, even though there isn't that bad in Jannah, there isn't that bad, but there's purity in Jannah. Now, so there's no zina in Jannah, there's no fornication, there's no adultery in Jannah, but there's purity in Jannah. You have your wives, you have your women. The other people, they don't see them. Okay? The other people, they don't see them. Even they don't look at other men, as we'll describe in the upcoming lessons about Hawr al-Ain, etc. So this is just something for people to be understanding of, so that they don't fall into any of these traps placed there by the Orientalists and others. Tayyib. Are they a creation themselves, or are they the children of that die in this dunya? Are they a separate creation, like Hawr al-Ain, or are they?
Creation.
These are a separate creation, Jayyid. These are a separate creation. Some of the ulama said that they are the children that die early, now before the age of puberty, but Allahu A'lam, the correct is, or the stronger is, that they are a separate creation, just like Hawr al-Ain are a separate creation. There will also be a separate creation. We're up to the women of Jannah. Allah said in the Quran, وَلَهُمْ فِيهَا أَزْوَاجٌ مُطَهَّرَةٌ وَهُمْ فِيهَا خَالِدُونَ. And they have in them, the people of paradise, they have in them azwaj, partners, mutahhara, that are pure, and they'll be therein forever. What type of purity is there in paradise for both men and women? But now we're speaking about the women of Jannah. What type of purity is there in Jannah from the men and from the women? Specifically for the women. What type of purity is there? You're not allowed to answer. I mean, you're not married, so you're not going to get in trouble. What type of purity, what's pure about the women in paradise?
No jinn inside, Dajjal seed.
We have to ask these young men here. I mean, yallah. You don't know anything about women?
Nah.
You guys already answered. Khairuddin, your wife here? Okay. Next. Saad. What's pure about the women in Jannah?
I'm not going to say it.
Or how is the purity of women in Jannah different to the purity of the women here? Jad. La ilaha illallah. I'll answer. You guys answer, mashallah. We need different ulama and mashayikh to come up. From the purity is the physical and the internal. Physical and internal. Okay, the outwardly and the inwardly. The outwardly, obviously, there's no going to the bathroom in Jannah. There's no menses in Jannah. There's no discharge in Jannah. There's no bad smells in Jannah. Jayyid? There's none of these things in Jannah. All of these things are not for the people of Jannah, males and females. Jayyid? Also is internal. And this is where you can be very happy. Alhamdulillah, no fighting in Jannah. Why? Because your wife's not emotional in Jannah. Your wife doesn't get angry for you for no reason. Your wife doesn't scream at you. Your wife doesn't have bad suspicions about you. None of these things, alhamdulillah. And wallah, alhamdulillah, alameen, I am very, very, very happily married in this regard. Some of you blokes, I know, that's why I'm saying this, so you can look forward to Jannah. Now, so you can go home tonight, and if your wife, you get home, why are you late? Why are you late? You said you're going to be home 8 o'clock. Why did you take longer? You can, just think about Jannah and smile. But the problem is, she's going to fight you. Why are you smiling? What are you thinking about? Who is she? In Jannah, the purity is outwardly and inwardly. Now, there's nothing outwardly that is any gross or disgusting or a person will be ashamed of or would be put off by. Also inwardly, there's no issues, there's no hatred, there's no enmity, there's no envy, there's no jealousy, there's none of these things. And this is also important for the sisters to understand. That in Jannah, you're not going to be jealous of the Hur al-Ain. This is very, very, very important for the sisters. Because what we're going to discuss, we're going to get into a bit of detail with the Hur al-Ain. And some sisters that they've asked, some of the very funny programs, they give fatwa, they call the Sheikh online, and they ask, someone asked, Sheikh, am I allowed to make dua for my husband to not have Hur al-Ain in Jannah? Of course you can't. Now, this is something that Allah Azza wa Jalla has gifted them. And you can't take that away from them. Or Ya Allah, maybe I don't want to go to Jannah if my husband has Hur al-Ain. These are all extremities. This is wrong and this is incorrect. Now when you go to Jannah, all of this envy, enmity, hatred, jealousy, all of it will be removed from the heart. So even though your husband has Hur al-Ain in the Jannah, then this is something that is normal and it will be completely normal to you at that time and you won't have any issue with it whatsoever. Also very important for the sisters to understand, for the brothers and the sisters, whenever you try to understand something from the other person's perspective, you need to put yourself in their shoes. Meaning, as brothers, when you want to be nice to your wife, you can't look at nice from a male perspective. You have to look at nice from a female perspective. And sisters also, when you want to look at that which is good for your husband, you need to look at it from a male perspective. Example, as a husband, the best thing for you when you're at home is what? To be left alone. True? For you, when you get home, don't look at me. Don't talk to me. Act as if I'm invisible. Act as if, do whatever you want to do. Just let me lay on the couch for half an hour. And in that is your serenity, your happiness, your tranquility. That is your ecstasy. That's everything for you. Everything. For a woman, that is the absolute worst. For a woman, for you to just leave her like that, why doesn't he love me? He must be cheating on me. He got married to a second wife. I knew he should not go to Sheikh Nassim's lessons. I sucked up on my... You have to understand, okay, for you as a man, if you want your wife to be happy, you can't say, I left you alone. Why did you leave me alone? You're going to say, because I want you to be happy. For example, let's say she's angry with you and she goes to the other room. And you say, okay, I'm going to give her space. She wants you to follow her to the room. And when you die, in her mind, my husband doesn't care for me. My husband doesn't love me. My husband doesn't care if I'm upset. So you have to look at it from her perspective. And you have to say, Habibti, are you alright? Is everything good? Wallah, I love you. And touch her arm and things like this. Now be affectionate and empathetic and the like. As for the man, when he says, leave me alone, he actually means, leave me alone. When he goes to the room, he actually saying, why are you following me? I don't want to talk to anyone. Wallah, I love you, and wallah, you're the best, and you're the mother of my kids. But I just want 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Please, Ya Allah. This is how that's his happiness. You can't look at it the opposite. You can't look at it the opposite. If you try and make a woman happy from a man's perspective, you're going to have problems. And this is part of the reason why we have a lot of problems in the households. Because we're trying to look at it from our own perspective, and you can't. Because we're two very different creations of Allah Azza wa Jal. We're two very different things. Now we have two eyes, we have a nose, we have a mouth, we have many things similar, but mentally, emotionally, we are very, very, very different. Very different. So a sister, when she looks at, why does the man need Hur حور العين in Jannah. Why am I not enough? Why am I not enough? It's different. It's different. Yani the man, this is something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has placed in him. This is how Allah made him natural. Yani, how can he, even multiple wives in the dunya, yani, why and how, and he can't, impossible. Yani, and I know, I'll tell you the response of the women always, okay? But, and just so the sisters know, I do not tell the brothers to get married to second or third wives. I don't do that. So any of your husbands that uses me as a thing is lying. He's lying and I'm free from him. Jayyid. I told the brothers, yani, very, very, very strict conditions and rules, and number one is, your wife needs to know. And I don't marry anyone, I don't do marriages, so no, I'm not marrying anyone off, just as a FYI. Jayyid. But if anybody does come, the first thing I'll say is, give me a written statement from your wife that she agrees with her stamp. Jayyid. La ilaha illallah, where were we? Now, so in this dunya they say, why? Yani, how can he love me and love another woman? We say, just like you love your children. Yani, maybe Allah Barak, you got 3, 4, 5, 6 children. And 100, you love all your children. And you care for all your children. And you do what's necessary for all your children to be healthy and upright and have the best in this life. And then you do everything. And emotionally, you love all of them. The man has the ability also with women. The man has the ability also with women. Now, so a person should not think that if my husband, even in this dunya, again, and I'm not saying everyone go and do it, but if it happened, a sister shouldn't think, oh, my husband hates me. And this is a very bad tradition for people to have, where even with us, I don't know about other cultures, but I know like in the Lebanese culture, if the husband got married to a second wife, oh, there must be a problem with the first one. This is incorrect. This is incorrect. My wallah, the majority of brothers that I know that want to get married to a second wife, it's because their wife is so good. Because their wife is so good. Yani they say, $1 million is good. But what's better than $1 million? $2 million. As an example, the sisters are hating you. That doesn't mean say, you know what, I'm too good to my husband, so he doesn't get a second wife, I'm going to be extra bad. No. Because then you end up in the other group. He says, wallah, my wife's so bad, I don't want to divorce her, she's a good woman, she's the mother of my children, but I need someone else now. You don't want that. Jayyid. But for the sisters, not to have this mentality that, oh, why does he need it? He needs it because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it in him. Allah created him like this. Allah created him like this. Jayyid. If you feed a lion every single day, and then you went into his cage, don't be surprised if he jumped at you and ate you. But why? I feed him every day. That's the nature of the lion. Jayyid, same thing with the man. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put it in his heart, put it in his nature, that he, generally speaking, desires more than one woman, and he has the ability to do both. I'm not getting into details, brother, get married, dodgy, that's all something separate, completely separate. Talking about the concept. Now, and remove the concept of if he gets married, it's only because there's an issue with the woman. No. The woman could be 100% perfect, but again, that is his nature. I hope, inshallah, ya Rabb, that was understood properly. هذا والله أعلم. صلى الله عليه وسلم محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين.